Welcome back to the weekly news Roundup, where we will cover all sorts of news related to technology and privacy and a little bit of security as well. These are recorded live Fridays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to catch the show live, see what we're doing, interact with the comments in between and things like that. But with all that, we are going to jump on in. We have privacy, security, AI, business, and we end at 28 days later. It's going to be a crazy week, guys. If we survive 2024, it will be nothing less than a miracle. I mean, it's getting crazy. It's getting crazy. Let's go ahead and dive on in. First, I mean, this is how 2024 starts. Is your air fryer spying on you? Well, I hope not, but it probably is. So this is dealing with excessive surveillance inside of smart devices. UK consumer group Which, that is a really bad name. Like which group? Which? I may as well do an Abbott and Costello routine, right? Right? Who's on first? No, who's on second? No, who's on first? Who's on second? Wait, what? No, he's on second. Wait, I don't know. Anyway, apparently it's a group called Which. They find everyday items, including watches and speakers, are stuffed with trackers. Yes. So, of course, we've been talking about this type of stuff for a long time, but it's gaining a lot of more traction in various places. So maybe as people go back online, like, who is this guy ranting and raving about this stuff a decade ago? Wow. This guy, everything this guy says is true. It's kind of like I'm reading that book from the Google CEO right now. And man, it's like everything they're saying is coming true. And of course, it's coming true in the most dystopian ways possible. But we'll just forget about that for now. But the air fryers gathering information because it's stuffed with trackers, particularly anything that can be controlled with a smartphone app. If you open up a device and it says download the app to control it, there's a problem there. So the organization tested 3 air fryers, increasingly a staple of British kitchens, and even van dwellers for whatever reason, each of which requested permission to record audio on the user's phone through the connected app. So the air fryer is listening to you. You see, it wasn't Facebook all along. It was your air fryer. See, you were talking about having chicken at night, and the air fryer says, we should do chicken. Quick, Google, serve them an ad on chicken. See, it was your air fryer all along. It wasn't Facebook after all. Smart air fryers allow cooks to schedule their meal to start cooking before they get home. Not all air fryers have such functionality, but those that do use an app installed on a smartphone. So you have to throw all your ingredients together, and then at some point in time, you have to remember to open up your app and push the button to get it started. Great. It's like, are we really that busy of a society that we have to push to start to cook on the app as I'm leaving the office so that the air fryer will beep precisely the time I walk in the door? We may as well have that, Elon Musk robot in there that is getting ready as in iRobot style to enslave the human race, right? Or imprison, iRobot imprisoned the human race. It's for our own good. The only way to follow the 3 laws is to keep us from ourselves. I mean, after all. So this company, which also found the app provided by the company Xiaomi, connected to trackers for Facebook and TikTok ad networks. So not only is your air fryer listening to your microphone on your phone, it's also passing all forms of data to Facebook and TikTok. So that is how Facebook and TikTok, see, it wasn't Facebook all along. Facebook was just serving the ads. It was all of the other apps that you've given all permissions to on your phone that's been listening to you. It wasn't Facebook all along. So, you're still getting there. And they basically go in and mention that any IoT device that you get that has a connected smartphone app is going to be collecting this type of data. And this is why I tell people the first way to be private is, even with a smartphone, do not install random apps. Use the web browser everywhere you can and resist using any app on the phone that you don't absolutely have to. And so that is your best way of making sure that you're not getting tracked by all of this stuff. Mozilla lays off 30% of its staff. Who would think that doing a whole bunch of things like being a privacy company and then giving all of your data to giving all of your data to advertising networks might be bad for your bottom line. We know that 85% of money that they get from Google is safe. What about the other 15? I think that they're probably losing some people. Then, of course, they have this spat with Brave, when Brave is objectively the better browser out of the box. There's a lot of misclarifications on that particular video, by the way. We talked about Brave and Firefox. One guy's like, well, why compare these two? Why not Brave and Libre? Well, did you watch the video? It was because Firefox came out on social media and attacked Brave, saying Firefox is better for privacy, when in reality, according to an independent auditor, Brave is actually better for privacy out of the box. Now, Firefox can be made to be the best private browser, but out of the box, it collects your data without giving you the ability to opt out. You'd have to manually go through the settings. You see, they used to even give you a pop-up the first time you launched it saying, hey, Mozilla collects data. Choose what data you share here. They stopped doing that a couple versions ago. They just turn on all the telemetry automatically. They enroll you in their studies. They do all of this nonsense. They want to share all of your data. You have to go in and turn it all off explicitly. And you have to know that you have to do that. So what groups are being done away with? Advocacy and global programs. So advocacy is the group which is going out and warning people about being private. Maybe they just decided to lay off the advocacy team after the train wreck of an attack they made against Brave, because that was just utter stupidity. Honestly. But the advocacy group, this is the group that actually is involved in working with teaching people about privacy. In fact, it goes even worse, though. They mentioned that not only is it privacy, basically all of the things that they really wanted to focus on. So including, I gotta find the exact quote here. No. I mean, it even included like equity. So, I mean, that's the staff that the staff are getting rid of. So I don't know, maybe this is a good thing. So no longer part of the advocacy and global programs, no longer a part. They said advocacy is a central tenet of Mozilla's foundation's work and embedded in other functional areas. The move to produce a unified, powerful narrative for the foundation, including revamping the foundation's strategic communications. Our mission at Mozilla is to be at higher stakes than ever, he wrote an email. We find ourselves in a relentless onslaught of change in technology and a broader world of the idea of putting people before profit feels increasingly radical. If you want to talk about putting people before profit, don't opt everybody in to a data collection system that's handing their data to advertisers, you morons. I want you to succeed, Firefox. I really want you to succeed. But you're doing everything in the world wrong here. Get back to building a privacy-focused browser and stop collecting a bunch of data. But you need your diagnostics data. You don't need diagnostics data any more than Manjaro does. We should put together a Linux distribution of all of the worst software. It's got to be based on Manjaro. You got to have Firefox by default. Maybe let's throw OnlyOffice in there just for fun. If you haven't seen some of the things going on in that platform. I mean, crazy. Use LibreOffice, folks. It's just we could use WPS. WPS is a good alternative as well. Not necessarily privacy focused software. Anyway, the last one here: Canadian government pushes a flawed internet age verification and blocking law, fining companies up to $500,000 for non-compliance. There you have it, folks. So Canada is now experimenting with figuring out how to block the internet from people who don't prove who they are. Of course, the end point of this is in order to use any form of internet anymore in Canada, in the great state of dystopia up there, you're going to have to provide your ID. That's going to be the ultimate principle. Oh, well, we need to have some digital ID thing. We got to make sure everyone's safe on the internet. So they kind of did this, got the bill passed through a series of blocks to block any changes or vote or discussion on it, kind of like they do here in America, right? Must have learned from Nancy Pelosi or something. Yeah, I don't know what in the world Reclaim just did. Oh, yeah, that's right. They give us this thing every now and again. Dude, I have no idea why Reclaim the Net does this crap. It's got to be the crappiest. Dude, stop. Okay, anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you from my memory, because apparently Reclaim the Net does not want you to actually read their articles. So the draft, this is Bill S-210. It's designed to push the implementation of age verification, choosing sites that feature sexually explicit material as its primary target. Note primary. Of course, other people are saying like, hey, social media, we're getting to that one later on the news. Social media should be limited at this age. Well, how do you prove their age? Well, that's a good question. I in principle agree. Young people should not be on the internet. I don't really want the government policing that. That should be up to the parents. And if the parents can't police it and it's causing a problem, well, maybe we need government to step in the form of, I don't know, police or something. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk more about that when we get to the Australia story. Okay, never mind. I'm done with Reclaim the Net. Piss on that stupid publication. Anyway, let's move on over to security, because Reclaim the Net's being stupid. Effectively, Canada's trying to age gate everything. No, it's not going to work. Moving on to security, though, hundreds of malware-laden fake NPM packages posted online to try and trick developers. So this is typo squatting inside of supply chain breaches. So effectively, the NPM is a platform where you can go to grab libraries for building software. You need a dialog box. I don't want to build the dialog box. I'll just grab it from over here. So they're doing the typo squatting, which is when you create a package that is very close in name or title to one that you might be aware of. So you go up and look for the package, and unless you're being really studious to make sure you're grabbing the right one, it's just going to be taking, you might accidentally grab the malicious one. Now, in this case, they were saying that these malicious ones, they didn't indicate the malicious packages were causing a problem in the end software, although they probably are. They focused here on the grabbing the packages would infect the developer's computer, not the end user specifically, although I assume the end user is also going to be involved in this. Just reading through the article. What they're doing differently here is they're doing a lot of obfuscation of the IP address. See, I still can't say that word, but I said it smoother that way, so you may not have noticed. But they're hiding the IP address through a series of relays and subsites, kind of like doing Tor stuff, but it's preventing them from being found out quite as easy. Whereas in the past, they were able to find out who was behind these and shut them down pretty easy. So these ones here are a little bit harder to do, and then they can just change their IP addresses, cycle those from time to time. So just be aware, if you are a developer, particularly be aware of fake packages. Make sure that you're not just grabbing something close. Make sure you're grabbing exactly what you think you are grabbing. Next up, of course, I'm warning people always about online password managers. I don't care if it's Bitwarden or LastPass or 1Password. If it is an online password manager, it is at a severe risk for being compromised, especially since LastPass did actually have their master password systems leaked. One of the challenges here is now people are trying to get into those, and they're engaging in a number of phishing scams. So this one could actually get into your system even if you were not among the original leaked one. What they're doing here is good old-fashioned flat out phishing scams utilizing not the advertisers. We're catching on to the malvertising. Now we're actually doing it through product reviews. That's right. Now scammers are in product reviews. What else is new? I know. But look at this. LastPass, free password manager forever. And look at this top comment here. Let me zoom in on here if I can. To reach LastPass online support, visit LastPass Online Help Center for a variety of solutions. You can contact LastPass Online Customer Service via live chat or phone 24/7 assistance, and then they give you this phone number. This phone number is the scammers. In fact, that same scammer phone number has actually been tied to similar types of phishing approaches through a number of different companies. So let's see if they had the list down here. So Amazon, Adobe, Facebook, Hulu, YouTube, TV, Peacock TV, Verizon, Netflix, Roku, PayPal, Squarespace, Grammarly, iCloud, Ticketmaster, and Capital One. All of those have used the exact same scammer phone number. The scammers get you on the phone, And then what they're going to do is they're going to get you set up on the secure server where they can now control your system. And then they enter the service code, and then you basically hand them the password so they can fix your system. And now they have all of your passwords because you've been phished for your password manager. Isn't that wonderful? So be aware of that particular phone number. So if some moron wants your phone number, memorize this one. Give them this phone number, 805-206-2892. So when some moron that you didn't want to give that number to calls them up, just get scammed by some scammer or something. That'd be great. People stop collecting phone numbers if everybody, you either go there. What's worse, getting sent to the scammers or getting sent to the congressional switchboard? I know that's the other number people like to memorize to give out. So let me know in the comment, little unofficial poll here. Would you rather, if you were given a random phone number from somebody, would you rather you call it and get an IT tech scam phisher, or would you rather get the congressional switchboard? Inquiring minds want to know. So just be aware of that. Don't find contact information inside of the review. That's what they're doing differently here for a service like LastPass. And finally, hacking your email here. Warning, hackers could take over your email account by stealing your cookies, even if you have multi-factor authentication. I thought multi-factor authentication was supposed to solve all of these problems. Nope, not at all. Doesn't solve it at all. Doesn't solve nothing. Because you set your cookie up and then you toggle that button because you don't want to enter your password and your MFA. Look at this. They are like, okay, your password's not enough. Now you need to do your password and your MFA. So now it takes you 3 to 5 times as long to get into an account with MFA. All right. It does the same thing. They can still steal the cookie and get in bypassing your MFA. The only way around this is to not keep your logins remembered. So what they're doing is through either a drive-by piece of malware or some type form of other phishing, they're able to grab your session cookies. And once they grab the cookies from your browser, they're logged into your email account. Once they're into your email account, they get all sorts of neat stuff. Isn't that wonderful? So this particular one is targeting webmail components, Gmail, Outlook, Yahoo, and AOL. All of them have the option. In fact, all of these now, for simplicity and convenience, they all seem to want you to log in, and they all seem to want you to stay logged in perpetually. And that is what it is, their desire to make it super convenient for you that causes you to get hacked more easily. Even though they told you your account's infinitely secure because you have multi-factor authentication. Nope, it's all a scam, all a lie. And with that scam and that lie, we are going to go ahead and talk about some AI news now. So this is the time you start chatting your teeth. Meta is letting the U.S. military use its Llama AI model for national security applications. Oh, great. We have the Zuckerberg giving up his Llama AI, which is one of the more problem-ridden ones, to U.S. military for national security applications. Usually like homeland security type stuff. The thing that abuses us common citizens while illegal immigrants roam through the streets murdering people. Hopefully we get a resolution to that pretty soon. But Meta will now work with government agencies. Remember when everyone's like, we're using this AI? This AI is not going to be used for any military applications. And now every one of them's like, please accept our AI contracts for your military applications. So Meta will now work with government agencies to develop military applications. Concerns have been raised about security risks for AI, and researchers find evidence China has already used Llama for defense. Oh, that's exciting. So that was a fun one here. So they're like, well, you got to let us use it because China's already used Llama. Now, that is a violation of the terms, but Llama is actually an open source AI system. So, you have to promise and pinky swear that you're not going to use it for bad. But China's like, we promise we will not use this for bad. Pinky swear, folks, pinky swear. And then they were using it to train their military. And so it's only fair that the United States can train their military with it now. We got the exception clause. The Chinese, they're breaking their pinky promise. So what are they doing with it? Well, they're just making decisions. They're deciding where to deploy people, things like that. So That's kind of what they're doing. But it gets worse, folks. It gets worse. Now the current general in charge of our nukes, the actual kaboomies, fat boy on Hiroshima, he wants to use AI to enhance our decision-making capabilities. This is what happened with Skynet, folks. This is what happened with Skynet. Okay, Trump, you got to fire this guy, quick. Stat. Anthony Cotton took control of the Air Force Global Strike Command in 2021. Global Strike Command controls all of America's nuclear, intercontinental, ballistic, missile operations, which quite literally means the General Anthony Cotton is one of the most dangerous men on the planet. And you would hope that someone with that sort of power at his fingertips would be a smart man, or at least halfway educated in what not to do with nuclear weapons. Like, say, letting artificial intelligence within 1,000 miles of them. All right. So many things could go wrong here. Now, he does clarify that we're not going to let AI make the final decisions. We just want the AI to tell us what to do. We make the final decisions. But the problem is, once you unveil something like AI and unleash it on the world, what tends to happen is people get lazy and go, well, the AI work is done. Okay. It's kind of like, you're watching like Final Fantasy VII, the world's worst video game, and then you got to sit here and just keep hitting the space bar through the stupid talk screen because I want to sit down and I want to chop people up with my amazing sword on Final Fantasy. But no, I'm reading a movie for a half an hour pushing the space bar repeatedly. I don't know what it said. I don't know what happened. Maybe the better one is if you remember the old oatmeal joke, right? If you ever watch the oatmeal cartoons, comic strips, and he did one on the it was the end times, and it's God up there uploading the doing some running the end time apocalypse application. He's like, no. The thing keeps on prompting, no. He clicked, no, wait, what did that say? And it was load Excel spreadsheet of saved people to rapture. And like, no, go back. The idea is he just rubber stamped it. That's what will happen if we give AI to nuclear weapons. The nuclear bomb will be like, come on, I've heard over and over and over that Putin guy, he's just rotten and evil. It makes sense. Eliminate rotten and evil. Nuke the nuke him. No. Ah. Especially since the AI is trained on all the stuff and they will not allow the counterpoint, the antithesis of what they want to do on the internet. So the AI is literally trained to destroy humanity. I gotta say, nothing else is more appropriate than a Tom on Fire talking about the AI taking over the nuclear codes and blowing us all up because people are lazy and rubber stamp it all. Oh boy, folks. Oh boy. We are in perilous times. Like I said, we may not get out of 2024, but it's going to keep getting worse, folks. It's going to keep getting worse. Stay tuned for more as we move on to business. Before we do, and before the apocalypse, if you want to help support the channel, we do have affiliates today. We are highlighting Mint Mobile. I do use Mint Mobile on my personal phone. Have done so for, I think, 6 years now. No problems anywhere. And I travel around the country in my van. So, if there were a problem somewhere, I probably would know about it. But you can get a really good discount on this. So $15 a month is the basic starting out. And you can do 5, 15, 20, or unlimited. I think it'll go up to 40 or something. I guess these are the rates here. So if you buy it, the longer you buy it out at a time, the cheaper it gets. So I only need 5 gigabytes of data on my phone. I don't need any more than that. So I just use the smaller one. So I only pay $180 per year for my phone. That's all I pay. And of course, I purchased my phone and it works with, I've run this in multiple different phones at this point in time. I just pop the SIM card out. In fact, I keep my old phone down here in case something goes wrong with my new one there. If, the screen dies, it suddenly dies out. The battery stops working. It gets dropped in a toilet or something. I just pop the SIM card out, put it in the old phone, turn it on, we're all set to go again. That's why I like Mint Mobile. I'm $180 per year for your phone coverage, and it works great. With that, let's have a look over at business news next. First up in business news, Lyft partners with May Mobility Mobileye to bring autonomous vehicles to the app. Now, I wanted to include this one because remember, Lyft is one of those companies that's kind of silently trying to shift the zeitgeist of car ownership. Back when the WEF thought it was really cool and trendy to say it's 2030, I own nothing and I'm happy, and Lyft comes around that same time, trying to push out the problems and the issues and the dangers of home ownership or of car ownership. It's just too expensive to own a car. It's so horrible. Let us do all that. You don't need a car. You just need the Lyft app. That's literally what their messaging was. They were, telling people this all over the place. Now, that's really nice for the company that owns the cars, okay? It's really, really nice. They're the ones that now own all of the vehicles. You are completely dependent on them. Of course, the May Mobility and Mobileye, these are bringing autonomous vehicles. So now Lyft as a corporation, they have their small group of staffers, but now they won't even have to hire drivers anymore. Got to get them plebs out of there as well. So now we just run this lean AI-powered company on good 30 people, and then the guy at the top can make tons of money while all the other guys get just enough to live on. Nobody owns the car anymore because Lyft has properly campaigned to get everybody to get away from those. And of course, the issue with May Mobility now is they're all geofenced. So these cars can only go within certain areas of the city. So if you want to leave that city, go out into the unforbidden zone, the woods in between the districts and Hunger Games, you're not allowed to do that, and the car won't take you there either. You'll be limited to your geographic region. No need to go to that city. Your city's got everything you need. Come on. It's only 15 minutes away, too. I mean, you can jump in the Lyft and get there a little bit quicker if you want. But what they're doing now is they're just partnering with these companies that do geofencing GPS. The Mobileye is doing equipments for viewing things, seeing basically a better way of scanning and seeing things are on the road. And they're basically now working together in order to create autonomous vehicles that you can hail with your apps. You pull up your Lyft app, you click the button, and instead of having some crazy driver that might, do uncouth things to you in the car, instead you just get a self-driving car shows up, in which case, if you're in San Francisco, if you guys didn't see this video, it's worth looking up. But people are in one of the self-driving Waymo, I think it was Waymo taxis, going down San Francisco, and a mob of protesters just surrounded it and started beating on the thing and painting it all over the place. And they pushed the button in there for help. And the guy that's literally connecting to an Indian data center. Hello, how may I help you? Oh, so you are enjoying your ride? You enjoy your ride? There's protesters beating on the car and spray painting it with graffiti. How is you? Do you like your ride? Don't worry, we'll refund you your trip. Like, ah! That's how this is going to go. You should look that video up. It is hilarious. Now, the guy does connect him to the local police, and then they have to explain their whole story again because there's no, passing the data on. So they now have to, good thing this isn't seriously life-threatening. It's just a bunch of hoodlums having fun, because if it were seriously life-threatening, now they have to explain their situation twice after getting off of the phone with the Indian dude on the other end of the planet who's probably laughing. Bunch of guys in San Francisco about to get rocked, it's just like, no, thank you. I will keep my own car and I will keep my own driver. I just, no, that's where this world is going. I don't want anything to do with it. I should have pulled that video up. It was great. You gotta look up that video. Australia now to ban under 16s from social media. Now, it said it does not say how it's going to enforce it, and it also has said it is not going to punish the people under 16 using it or the parents either. So it's basically a decriminalized strong recommendation. The Australian government is strongly recommending that your 16-year-olds don't stay off the internet, but it doesn't have any enforcement measures on either end. So, whatever that happens to be worth. Now, this is where we get into some questions. I was chatting with my brother about this last night, and, he and I see the world in two completely different lenses. That's quite fascinating. He streams on Twitch. If you want to see the mystery wonder of genetics, he's at Mabus Games at Twitch. He does video game design stuff and building assets for video games and stuff like that. And we are 100% opposite, 100%. So I was asking him about this. I was like, what do you think? He's like, oh yeah, that's great. And I agree in principle. I don't think people under 16, I don't think have any business on any form of social media. Like, not at all. Not without solid parental recommendation. Then I asked, well, how do you enforce that? Well, show ID. And then as I explained some of the ways of doing all this, he's like recognized, okay, yeah, I hear you. Showing ID is not the way to do it. How can we enforce something like this? And then if we have these limitations, who's responsible? You see, in the book from the Google CEO that I'm reading, The New Digital Age, they actually talk about this a little bit. They're like, we have this social media problem where, in the old days, you would go to school, get into a fight, and you get sent to the principal's office. He actually says, well, in this new digital age, you might go to school in the morning and get immediately called to the principal's office for something that you did on the internet last night, cyberbullying somebody else last night. Well, I had raised this question. Why is it the school's job to police a social media internet-wide application? Why is it the police's job to police all of that, or the school's job to police what happened when you were not even on campus? Well, the reason, of course, they bring that scenario up and they want that scenario is because that's the Marxist society they're trying to push, where the state owns the children. Come on, you did something on the internet. You weren't even here at the school, but I am the principal and I will deal with this. No, you moron. No. So who deals with that, though? The parents? You can't get two parents together and mediate anything. Is it a social worker? Is it the police? You see, we have to deal with something about this. I think this is the best option. Okay, if you're under 16 and you're inclined to do such stupid crap, you probably shouldn't be on the internet. And if you are cyberbullying somebody, therefore you're caught being on the internet without this kind of stuff, well, at this point in time, maybe social workers do need to be involved, or police. I don't know. I do not know who the answer is. I just know this. In a world where parents are actually parents, children would not be on social media. We'll start with that as a founding principle. But this is rife with issues, because are we calling for ID? In which case, everybody needs to show an ID. I mean, you got to prove that this older man with a graying beard isn't a 15-year-old. I mean, if I'm a 15-year-old, I got some serious medical problems. I mean, really. But, am I going to be forced to show an ID to prove how old I am? Or they did actually mention down here, UK has tried these in a variety of ways. Every one of these has failed. Every country that's tried to do some form of internet-based age verification, it has always failed. So UK implemented age assurance legislation, outlined potential options including allowing banks or mobile providers to confirm a user is over 18, credit checks, or the use of facial estimation technology, and asking users to upload a photo to the site and then match that photo with ID. And so that's how UK tried to do it, and it was an abysmal failure. We don't have good solutions for these, but for whatever case it is, it is a discussion worth having. I don't know if we can get a solution, but we need to figure it out. And probably the best bet is for people under 16 to not be on social media. The question is, how do we accomplish that? That's the question we need to ask. Well, Canada's back again, of course. Canada's gone full-fledged dystopia. Now they are ordering ByteDance to shut down TikTok operations. Now, they did say they are not going to go after people who are using TikTok based on operations elsewhere. So, apparently if you're in Canada, you can still use TikTok housed and managed in the United States. Not a problem. But as far as ByteDance organization, they may not do any more business in Canada. Now, obviously, they're going to sue over this, saying it's unconstitutional or whatever else. But Canada, for the time being, has issued an order to TikTok, or to ByteDance, really, to dissolve all of their operations inside of their country, which is probably good. I stand by that as well. I think TikTok should be burnt with fire. However, once again, how do we enforce that? Is it up to Justin Trudeau to decide who can do business and who can't? You disagree with us. In fact, I don't know. I'm totally surprised that Canada would try and cancel ByteDance, because it pushes the same degeneracy that Canada seems to love. However, it had to do more with security and intelligence advice and the data collection. So again, it's not the degeneracy TikTok is doing to your youth. It's the fact that TikTok is collecting too much data on your people. That's really what it boiled down to. So whatever that is. And of course, the big story in the business of the week, the McFlurry has been freed. The United States Copyright Office frees the McFlurry, allowing the repair of the ice cream machines, and the world has rejoiced. I can now go get an ice cream at McDonald's. We should all celebrate and go get ice cream at McDonald's to celebrate this. See if it's there yet. So they have literally carved out an exception in the DMCA 1201 ruling of the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. This is the same act that the organization that created the ice cream machines is using to block the repair by anybody else. So the Copyright Office says, no, we're going to carve out exceptions. It's not a McFlurry exception. Sadly, I wish it were called the McFlurry exception, but it carves out an exception allowing any restaurant to repair any machine that they have purchased. Of course, this just means that these machines will immediately go to subscription model where nobody owns them anymore. And we won't solve any problems. But they won't sell these machines anymore. They will lease them. They will subscribe to them, whatever else. But I'm very saddened to see that we did not get an exception to 1204, clarifying a full legitimate right to format shift a DVD that one owns. But hey, at least we did. At least we got the McFlurries. So now we can cry over our Butterfinger McFlurry about the fact that we still may not be able to format shift the DVDs that we have piles of laying around our houses. But hey, this is great. So let's see. Here's the exemption covers retail level equipment, is what it says. As public knowledge notes, Section 1201 DMCA makes it illegal to bypass a digital lock that protects copyrighted work, such as devices software, even when there is no copyright infringement. Public knowledge and iFixit jointly petitioned for a repair exemption covering diagnosis, maintenance, and repair of commercial and industrial equipment. So apparently that is what they do. The Register recommends adopting a new exemption covering diagnostics, maintenance, and repair of retail-level commercial food preparations equipment because proponents sufficiently showed by preponderance of the evidence these adverse effects on the proposed non-infringing uses of such equipment. So we have McFlurries, but we may not have our DVDs. So that is what they are up to. And with that, folks, we are going to move right on over into Sillyville. And this is where we're going to talk about the true end of humanity. First, we always have to talk about vapes because it's stupid. I'm sorry. We have traded one addiction for the other, and the health benefits are only slightly improved. However, the point this guy makes is massive e-waste, because apparently what these are like single use or small refill vape pens that are the disposable ones. But apparently they have lithium batteries in them that can still be used. But since it's a vape, it's considered bio-waste and you can't recycle it. So we literally are throwing away tons of lithium batteries that makes it very difficult to recycle them and also very difficult to dispose of them. In theory, you're not supposed to be able to throw these away, but you also can't take them to a lithium battery recycling plant because it's biohazard. So what do? Well, you end up throwing them away or, just littering around the streets. So this guy went around and picked up a bunch of these one-time use vape machines. He picked up 130 of them and used it to make a bike, an electric bike powered by vapes. He tied all of these little individual cells. This is the model 20400 cells. He picked these up. This is the 3500 puff types with model 2400 cells. He found them littered at a music festival and converted them into a 48-volt, 1,500 watt e-bike battery, one that powered an e-bike with almost no pedaling more than 20 miles. So, using the lithium batteries disposed at a music festival, he was able to get enough power to drive 20 miles. So he did all his experiment. You can see his battery pack over here, what he did. This makes me want to go to a music festival and pick a bunch of these up and see if I can, I'll just build myself little portable disposable power generators or something. I don't know. So anyway, he says, to be clear, don't do this. Do not put disposable vape cartridges in a vice clamp and pop out their components. Oh, come on. As long as you know what you're doing. Why are they thrown out? Well, because it would full of dangerous materials. So there you go. If you are a vapor and you have these disposed ones, just save them up and you can build e-bike batteries. Microsoft is so desperate for people to drop Google, it's offering $1 million reward. I'm simply calling this browser meddling. I mean, didn't Pennsylvania try and sue Elon Musk for election meddling for offering $1 million to sign a petition? Well, come on. Microsoft is offering $1 million to switch your browser. This is your search engine. Excuse me. This is search engine meddling. It's search engine meddling. Microsoft should not do this. They should get in trouble for this. Someone should sue them for it. Basically, if you are in United States, United Kingdom, a floating garbage heap, Canada, Puerto Rico, Canada, France, Germany has a chance. You have a chance of becoming a millionaire just by browsing Bing and entering the sweepstakes for free. They have one of those of getting $1 million, but if you're not that one, 10 more people are going to get $10,000, which is not a shabby deal. And so there you have it, folks. There you have it. Microsoft is now getting so desperate for Bing users, they're trying to pay people to use it. Hey, I would do that, get signed in, and no matter what it is, great, thanks for my money. I'm switching back now. Oh, I am just in time, because guess who just showed up? Come here. A cat just showed up in time for my article about cats. Isn't this great? Thanks for showing up, kitty cat. So, apparently, if you have an interest in Bengal cats, in which case this guy is not a Bengal cat, this is just a mutt tabby of some form or another, don't search for information on your Bengal cats at work in Australia, because there are now SEO scammers. Basically, they're the SEO jackers. SEO poisoning campaigns is what they officially call them. And they have targeted Australian users searching up Bengal cats. And they are populating it with SEO poisoning campaigns to land those websites on the very top of the page that are going to infect your computers with malware. So if you do a search for a cute little kitty like this one right here, you could very well get malware in your system due to an SEO poisoning campaign. Hey, kitty, the internet is for cats, and here, doing a search for cats is malwaring. What do you know? The cat's like, I did it. You did it, didn't you? Yes, you did. You did it, huh? All right, I'll let you go then. I'll let you go. You've served your purpose. Hold on. I got to get my cat because he's like not in a good spot there. There you go, buddy. There you go. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I did it all right. All right. Well, I'm sorry if you're in South Carolina, but 40 monkeys have escaped a bioresearch lab in South Carolina. Residents are being urged to lock their doors and windows. 28 days later started with a contaminated monkey. Don't forget. 28 days later, it was a zombie apocalypse. So the zombie apocalypse is going to be starting in South Carolina as 40 test monkeys have escaped from a bioresearch laboratory. Alpha Genesis Research in Yamasee works with the federal government and has a colony of 3,500 primates used for clinical research. Dozens of these dudes are on the loose. The movie suggests there are only two possible outcomes. It's airborne. Or that. Is that some AI? I mean, let me know in the comments. Is that from a movie or is this some AI-generated monkey with machine guns riding a horse? I really want to know. And let me get that off the screen in case anybody's like epileptic or something, because that's crazy. So they issued the warning. Several primates have escaped from the Alpha Genesis facility on Castle Hall Road. If you see any of them, do not approach or attempt to interact with them. Instead, contact 911 immediately. Traps have been set up around the area, and the Yemenis Police Department is currently on site utilizing thermal imaging cameras in an attempt to locate the animals. Residents are strongly advised to keep their doors and windows secured to prevent the animals from entering homes. So there you go. Heeding the warning is probably a good idea. Not just because of the cautionary tales, but because monkeys themselves are dangerous. So there you have it, guys. A bunch of test monkeys got out, and yeah. So if the zombie apocalypse happens down and starting around South Carolina, you know that it's the monkeys that have escaped. Was it also a plot of 12 monkeys? Yeah. Anyway, if you want to help support the channel, you can join us over on Locals, switchedtolinux.locals.com. You can jump on over there. You can see our short stories, join in on our Thursday calls when we have them. I didn't realize we had 2 weeks without a stream in a row. It was just unavoidable. We should hopefully be back to a regular schedule next week. Hopefully I can find a spot with enough internet to do that. But with that, guys, thank you for watching, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.